Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to look at a question paper of June 2019, and we are going to look at paper one of June 2019. So, the question paper is from the Northwest province. So, going to our instructions of the question paper. The instructions that are important within the context of this video is that we have to round off or final answers appropriately according to the given context. So we take note that according to what we are told in the question, unless stated otherwise. So this is what we have, and also instruction number 7. Units of measurement must be indicated where applicable. So very important to indicate the units of measurement. So we move on to the first question of the question paper, which is question one, which reads, Recompart Secondary School is 1,280 learners and 40 teachers. Write the ratio of learners to teachers in a simplified form. So we are saying 1.1. So the ratio that we have is of learners to teachers. So basically, we can present it as such, whereby we have learners S2 and teachers. Learners S2. We've got learners S2 teachers, so we can indicate it as such. Then we check the number of learners that we have. We have got 1,280, whereby the number of teachers that we have got 40 teachers. So this is the ratio that we have. So obviously, according to the ratio that we have, we are supposed to reduce it to the lowest terms, whereby we divide by 40 both sides. So we're going to see that our ratio will be reduced down to 32 as to 1. As we say 40 into 1,280, we're going to get 32 uh, as to 1. So this is the simplified form that we can reduce our ratio. So moving on to the second part of our question, which is going to be 1.2. In 2016, statistics South Africa reported that there were 17,003,467 secondary school students in the country. Write down the number of students in words. So obviously, we want to present our 17,003,467 in words. So basically, we have 1.2. So we are going to say for our 1.2, we have 17 million and 300. We can just try to refer back our figure that we gave 17 million and 3,000. Remember, it's 17 million and 3,000, 467. So this is what we have. So we are saying 17 million and 3,000. 17 million and 3,400 and 67. So basically, this is the representation in words. So we move on to the next part of our question, which says Mary has 1,450 rands. She gave 3/5 of her money to his son. Calculating rands, the money she gave to his son. Obviously, we have got 3/5 of 1,450 that we will need to calculate to see the amount in rands that was given to the son. So we are saying 1.3, whereby we have 3/5 times 1,450 rands So this is what we have. So we calculated as such, you see that the answer that we're going to get is 870 rands. So this is what we have as the amount to be given to the son. So we move on to the next part of our question, which is now 1.4. Mary needs 45 tiles to tile her kitchen. If each box has got 12 tiles, how many boxes should she buy? So obviously, at 12 tiles make a box whereby there are 45 tiles. So obviously, to see number of boxes, we're going to say we want to see how many 12 tiles are inside 45 tiles so that we can see number of boxes. So basically it's 45 tiles divided by 12 tiles. So that's what we have on 1.4, number of boxes. So on number of boxes, we are saying it is equal to 45 tiles, and then we divide by 12 tiles. So you want to see that the answer that we're going to get is going to be 3.75. And obviously these are 3.75 boxes, but we can see that we have got a fraction that we have here, which is 0.75. It means the fourth box is not going to be full, but obviously we require that box. So we are going to say we round off to the nearest box, which is the whole number. We get 4 boxes. So this is the answer that we have on that part. So obviously, this is the last question that we have on question 1. We can move on to question 2. So our question 2 reads, Mavis is a third-year college student. She receives 3,800 rands from her parents as a monthly allowance. She is also working at the supermarket on weekends and receives a monthly salary of 1,800 rands. Table 1 below shows Mavis' budget. So you're given table 1, Mavis' budget, whereby we've got a section for income and also we have a section for expenditure. So we've got a total of 4,450 rands. So beneath that, we have got a question part whereby it reads, I use the table to answer the question that follow. How much does Mavis spend for entertainment? So obviously, we need to check what we have for entertainment, but you can see that we have got 250 rands. So 2.1, we are saying 250 rands. So this is basically what we have on that part. So obviously, we move on to the next part of our question, which is going to be question 2.2. Identify Mavis fixed expense. So we need to understand what is a fixed expense. So a fixed expense is an expense that doesn't change from one period to the other. So if you look at the expenses that we have, an expense that is not going to change from one period to the other is rent. Rent does not change. So that makes rent a fixed expense. So we have got rent. In 2.3, calculate a total monthly income. So for income, we can see that we have got an allowance of 3,800 and salary for 1,800. So in terms of calculating the total income, we add the two. So we are saying on 2.3, total income. So on total income, we are going to say 3,800 rands plus 1,800 rands. So we do that, what are we going to get? We're going to get 5,600 rands. So basically, this is what we have. We move on to the next part of our question, which says calculate your total monthly income, which we have calculated. So we are saying calculate the rent as a percentage of the total expenditure. the rent as a percentage of total expenditure. We've got rent, which is indicated as 1,500 in total expenditure. We have got total expenditure is 4,450. So we're going to say 1,500 divided by 4,450. And we are expressing as a percentage, so it means we are multiplying by 100 over 1. So come here, it becomes our 2.4, whereby we are saying 1,500, we divide by the total, which we are given as 4,450. Then we multiply by 100 over 1, which is indicating our, remember, the 100 over 1 that we have is indicating the 100%. So this is what we have. So we calculate, we're going to see that the percentage that we're going to get is 33.71%, of course, to 2 decimal places. So this is the answer that we have on 2.4. So obviously from question 2, we are supposed to move on to our question 3. So our question 3 reads, Lemogen is saying in Etequini municipality, table 2 below shows the consumption of electricity and the cost of different appliances used by Lemogen during November 2015. So we give a table 2, cost of electrical appliance. So we've got different columns that we have. Of course, we have got a column for appliance, electrical rating in watts, a column for hours used per day, days used per month, column for kilowatts used per month, and lastly, column for monthly cost at 131.46 cents, that is per kilowatt, including VAT at 14%. So this is the information that we have. And then beneath that, we've got the questions. Determine electric appliance that was used on daily basis with higher electrical rating. So on daily basis, and also we check with higher electrical rating. So we check according to the one that was used on daily basis. We are going to say that we have got days used per month. Obviously, in the month we've got 30 days on average. So we've got 30 days on 3 different parts. So it means out of these 3, that's where we have our answer. But we are going to check with a higher electrical rating. So with a higher electrical rating, which is in this column, we see that between Ketron light and the refrigerator, the one with a higher electrical rating is Ketron with 2,000 watts. So basically, that's how we're going to choose our Ketron is our response for 3.1. So 3.1, we are saying our answer is a Ketron. And then move on to the next question, which is saying, how many kilowatts hour were used for the refrigerator? So refrigerator, we're having it here, of which in terms of kilowatts hour, we have them in this column. So we are saying a refrigerator, and then we have got 78. So we have 78 is our answer, and that is on at 3.2. So this is what we have for that part. Move on to the next part of our question, which is now 3.3. Calculate the missing value A. So missing value A, let's just try to clear. So in terms of our missing value A, which we are having here, we are going to see that if we add everything in this column, we're going to get a total of 310.36. So to get A, we are going to say the total of the elements that we have in that column. I will subtract it from 310.36, because if we add everything, we are going to arrive at 310.36. So we are going to add all what we have, starting from 1.96, we add up to 14.4. Then the total will subtract it from 310.36. So this is exactly as we are going to present in the other section, whereby we are saying 3.3, and we are saying 310.36. 310.36. We subtract the total of the elements that we have in that column, 1.96 plus 36. Then we add again 30 plus 15. We add 78 and 14.4. So with that, we see that the answer that we are going to get, we are going to get it as, we try to calculate as such and see where we are going to arrive at. Let's just try to calculate. So with that, we are going to get it as 135 kilowatts. So this is what we have. So moving on to the next question that we have is going to be our 3.4. So 3.4 is calculate the total monthly cost excluding VAT. And you can see that the total monthly cost that we have is 408, 408 rands 2 cents, which we have the total cost that we have. So obviously, if we check according to the percentage that we have for VAT, we are given it as 14%. So we are saying excluding VAT, and then we add including VAT. We add the VAT, then we get the including VAT. So basically, this is what we have. And excluding, it's always 100%. Then we add the 14% that we have there, and we get 114%. So this is the scenario that we have. So this is the including as we are being given there. That are all the figures that we have is including VAT. So the including is 100, 131.46. 131.46. So this is what we have. So in this case now, we can just make a proportion whereby we're saying 114 is equal to 114 is equal to the 408 around 2 cents. So the figure that we are looking for, according to the question, it's saying calculate the amount excluding VAT is the excluding amount, which is 100%. So we can calculate it as such, whereby we are saying this is on 3.4, whereby we are saying the one that we are given is 140%, which we are given is 408 rands 2 cents. So the figure that we are looking for is 100%, which is going to be a question mark. So with that now, we can make a simple proportion whereby we are going to say, whereby we have our 100 is our numerator, and then 114 is our denominator, then multiply by 408.02. So multiply it like that, and we see what we are going to get. So let's just try to multiply. So we are going to get our final answer is 357 rands and 91 cents, of course, and to 2 decimal places. So this becomes our final answer. So this is what we have on 3.4. So we move on to the next question, which is going to be on 3.5. Show how the monthly cost of 18 rands and 93 cents of a television was calculated. You may use the following formula. Monthly cost of TV equal to watts times number of hours times number of days times cents per kilometer per kilowatt per kilowatt hour. So we can start by putting down our formula whereby saying monthly cost of TV. This is our monthly cost of TV, and we're given it as watts times number of hours times number of days and then we multiply it by cents per kilowatt hour. We're given it as cents per kilowatt hour. So this is what we have basically. So we can try to substitute in terms of the figures that we have. And of course, what we are given is we are given this is what, remember, this is for television. So television, we are having it here. So everything in this row is what we are going to use. So you've got 80 watts, which we are going to convert to kilowatts. So by converting to kilowatts, we're going to divide by 1000. So we're going to say 80 over 1000 multiplied by the number of hours given. Of each number of hours given, we can just try to see what we have. Of course, a number of hours given, we have 6 as indicated. So we're going to multiply by 6. Then we multiply by the number of days. So number of days, according to information given, we have got 30. So we multiply by 30. Then we multiply by cents per kilowatts, of which cents per kilowatts we're given it is cents per kilowatt, we're given it as 131.46. 131.46, and of course we're going to divide it by 100 cents to convert to rands. So we're going to say 130, 31.46. If these are cents, and the same we divide by 100 so that we convert to rand. So this is the calculation that we have. And the answer that we are going to get is our final answer becomes 18 rands 93 cents to 2 decimal places, obviously. So this is what we have. We move on to the next question. Of course, this is going to be the last question that we have on question 3. So we are going to move to our question 4. So our question 4 reads, as Shepo would like to start a vegetable garden as shown below. He intends to pave the path using rectangular paving bricks, and the length of the paving path is 8 meters and the breadth is 1.5 meters. The dimension of one brick is given below. So this is the dimension of one brick that we're given here. And then I believe that we're given the question part whereby it reads, use the information about to answer the questions that follow. 4.1, calculate the area of the paving path. You may use the following formula: area is equal to length times width. And of course, a measurement of the length of the paving path is we have got the length of the paving path is 8 meters and the breadth is 1.5 meters. So we've got the length being 8 meters and the breadth being 1.5 meters. So according to our question, we are going to start by putting down our formula, which says remember we are looking at our 4.1. Our formula says area is equals to length times width. So we are saying area is equals to length times width. So remember, we've identified our measurements is our length being 8 meters, and then our width being the breadth that we are given is 1.5 meters. So we calculate like that, so that our answer is going to be 12 meters squared, and this is going to be the area that we have. So with that, we move on to the second part of our question, which reads, calculate in meters squared the area of one paving brick. You may use the formula area squares length times width. So 4.2 again, we have the same formula, area is equals to length times width. Of course, we check now in terms of the length, but there is an emphasis that we should calculate in meters squared, which means we should convert our measurements to meters. Remember, the area of one paving brick dimension, we are given it here. We have 10 centimeters and 20 centimeters. 20 centimeters for length and width, we've got 10 centimeters. So we have to first convert our centimeters to meters, and we take note that 1 meter is supposed to 100 centimeters. So to convert our centimeters to meters, we divide by 100. So for our length, we're going to say 20 divided by 100. So we're going to say length, we are saying 20 divided by 100, and we're going to get it as 0.2 meters. And then we have got our width, which is equal to 10 divided by 100. And we're going to get 0.1 meters. So these are the measurements that we have. Then we proceed with our calculation. Length times width, we are now saying area is equal to 0.2 meters times 0.1 meters. So in that sense, the answer that we are supposed to get becomes 0.02 meters squared. So this becomes your area. And then with that, we move on to the next part of our question, which reads, how many paving bricks does he need to pave the path? So of course, we have got the area of the paving path divided by the area of the brick to get the number of paving bricks. So basically, that's how we can arrive at our answer. So we are saying this is going to be our 4.3. So we are saying 4.3. And we are saying number of bricks. We are saying area that we have for area of paving path divided by area of paving brick. And we divide by area of paving brick. So according to our area of paving path, we got it as 12 meters squared. So it's going to be our numerator. It will divide by area of a paving brick, which we got as 0.02 meters squared. So with that, we see that the answer that we are going to get is 600. So we have 600. So our question, remember, requires us to calculate paving bricks. So we've got 600 paving. 600 paving bricks. So this is our answer from that part. So we move on to the next question, which is the last question. Shepherd intends to make a circular plot opposite to his vegetable garden, in which he will plant a tree. The diameter of the circular plot is 1.5 meters. Calculate the area of the circular plot. You may use the formula. Uh, area is equals to pi r squared. So this is what we have. So we have to calculate the radius first. We can take note what we are given there. We are given the diameter, which is 1.5 meters. But what is required is the radius, which is r. So let's start by putting down our formula, 4.4. It says pi r squared. So to get our radius is supposed to half diameter, which we are given as the diameter is given as 1.5 meters. So we are saying times 1.5. And we are going to get our diameter as, we can try to see 0.75 meters. So now going back to our calculation, we are saying pi r squared. Remember, pi is being given as 3.142. So we are saying it is equal to the area now is equal to 3.142, which is our pi. Then we multiply by our r, which is 0.75. We calculated it. It is squared. And we know that if you try to simplify it further, it becomes 3.142 times 0.75 times 0.75. This is the squared that we have. We multiply it twice. So this is what we have. And then we see that the answer that we have to get is 1.77 meter squared. So this is what we have. And then I'll move on to the next part, which is going to be our question 5. Our question 5 reads, we've got Alexia shows a sitting plan of FC Stadium. So the use Alexia to answer questions that follow. So we have got our Alexia here of a sitting plan of FC Stadium. So this is what we have. We can try to zoom it. This is what we have in terms of the stadium. So we're going to answer our questions concerning that election. So the first question reads, how many gates does the stadium have? So if you refer there, we try to count how many gates can we identify. So we have gate 1, gate 2, you've got gate 3, gate 4, gate 5, gate 6, gate 7, gate 8, gate 9, gate 10. So you see that the maximum that we have is 10. So we are saying 10 gates. That is what we have. So we're going to say on the first part, which is going to be our 5.1. So our answer is 10 gates. So we move on to the second question, which is saying which gate is closest to family area. So we try to see where do we have family area, but you see that family area, we have it here. So the closest gate obviously is gate 6. So we have 5.2, whereby we are saying gate 6. We'll go to the next one. Here is a ticket in block Y23. And block Y23 is here. This is block Y23. And then it says, and Jerry has a ticket in block B14. And then block B14, we have it here. You can just indicate it here. That's where we've got B14. And then it proceeds and say, determine the shortest route from block 14 to block Y23. So moving from B14 to Y23, obviously we have to take this route. This is the shortest. We can't use the other optional route is to go this way, which is going to be a longer route as it's going to be winding. So the question requires us to uh, determine the shortest route. So obviously we are going to describe how to move from B14 to Y23 here. So we are saying from block 14, which is B14, you move up to Y19. Obviously, you have to go up to Y19. And then from Y19, you have to turn right and go to Y23, which is here. So this is the point that we want to reach. So basically, that's the description that we are going to give, whereby we are going to say this is our 5.3. For block 14, move up to Y19 and turn right. Turn right until Y23. So this is what we have on the 5.3. Then we've got 5.4 saying if the dimension of the field in the map is 7 centimeters times 4 centimeters, which obviously is going to be the length and the width. Calculate the actual length of the field in the map. If the scale of the field in the map is 1 is to 2000. So 1 centimeter is equal to 2000 centimeters uh, on the ground. So we need to calculate the actual length. So the length that we have on the scale is 7 centimeters. With the ratio of 1 is 2000, so obviously I'm going to say 7 centimeters times 2000. So that is what we have on 5.4. So 5.4, we're going to say 7 times 2000. And the answer that you are supposed to get becomes 14,000 centimeters. Remember, these are centimeters, and these are also centimeters. So you get 14,000 centimeters. And of course, we refer back to the question. It's saying uh, it's not specifying in terms of how we are supposed to present our answer in units, but obviously we can convert it to meters, whereby we have 1 meter. We have 1 meter equal to 100 centimeters. So in that sense, we are going to say 14,000 centimeters. We divide by 100 centimeters, and then what do we get from that? We are going to get your answer is 140 meters. So basically, this is what we have. So this becomes the last question that we have according to this question paper. Thank you for listening, and let's meet again in the next video.